everyone, I'm Jing Chen. Previously, I shared how to create character assets for film and television productions. That video mainly focused on realistic character designs. Today I'm sharing how to design characters for games and anime, as well as comprehensive knowledge about style transfer. This time, I'll share two methods to consistently produce game or anime characters with a fixed style. One is through style transfer, applying a specific style to a target image. The other is collecting enough images of the same art style and training a style LoRa from those images for text-to-image generation. Unlike real people, non-realistic art styles are incredibly diverse. So this video will only share how to consistently produce a specific fixed style. The methods are universal. You guys can test them out with whatever art styles you like. This time I'll test some game character-focused art styles. I actually tested 5 different workflows with a huge amount of testing. After comparing them, I'm recommending these 2 most stable methods. Making this took a lot of work, so please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. First, let's look at the first method. This uses the QAA2509 base model plus China Telecom's Telestyle LoRa. It is basically the same as the dual image editing workflow. It is a pretty basic workflow. Up here is the original image, and down here is the target style image. There are a few key points to pay attention to. First, the aspect ratio of the original image should match the target art style. This is pretty self-explanatory. For example, if the style is chibi style, the original character's head-to-body ratio should also be chibi-like, so the style and composition will be consistent. Second, the original image and style image should be quite different from each other. If the two styles are similar, it obviously won't have much effect. They should differ at least in brushstrokes, lighting, and other presentation methods. I highly recommend converting between 2D and 3D styles. The effect will be much more noticeable. Also, style images with backgrounds work better in my tests. Now looking at the model side, I recommend using a slightly higher LoRa weight. Start with 1.1. And increase it if you feel the style isn't strong enough. For image scaling, try to make the original image larger than the style image. This will reduce blending between the two images. Here I am using 2 million pixels for the original image, and fewer pixels for the style image. Besides the ones shown in the opening, I tested quite a few more. Let's look at some other results. They all turned out pretty good. Now, let's look at the second method. Using Z-Image's image-to-LoRa model, import 15 images of the same style to generate a style LoRa. Then use this LoRa with Z-Image's text-to-image workflow. I've also prepared prompts for reverse engineering. The usage is the same as I mentioned in previous videos. Send the prompts and images to an online LLM. Once reverse engineered, copy the prompts here. If you have composition requirements, you can also add a ControlNet node, using line art or depth maps to control the image generation. Once it is done running, you can download the LoRa directly from the task list. For example, I trained 2 LoRas this time. One is Western 3D cartoon style, the other is American 2D cartoon style, each using a dataset of 15 images. The images you saw earlier were generated with these 2 LoRas. I'll also share them in the cloud drive. Once you train your LoRa, download it to use locally, or upload it to use online. Like uploading it to Running Hub, you'll even earn some credits if other people use it. I'm using Facial Base to read the images here, which makes it easier to do data cleaning first. Before training the LoRa, you can also create a similar table. Upload a row of collected original images first, then batch process them to sharpen, or do other pre-processing on the dataset. Then use this workflow to train the LoRa. If you want to train multiple style LoRas, after uploading images by column, change the header of the column you want to use to images, and the workflow will read that column. Just drag all your images into Facial Base, and you'll save yourself the hassle of swapping images in the workflow. If you don't know how to use this Facial Base read-write node, check out my last video. If you don't want to use this node, you can also manually change it to individual load image nodes. If you really can't collect that many images, you can repeat some images, or reduce the number of images, though the results might not be as good. If you only have one image, I still recommend using the first method, or generate more images of the same style using other methods first, then run this workflow. I don't recommend running this LoRa training process locally. because the environment for this node is pretty tricky to set up, and it is very resource-intensive to run locally. Plus, running it online with Plus is way faster. Just download the trained LoRa to use locally. So the local workflow I'm providing is just a text-to-image workflow. You guys don't need to torture yourselves with this. After all, the free 100 credits you get every day are basically enough to train one LoRa. I also tested 3 other workflows, but they're not as stable as these two, and their versatility is pretty limited. They work okay for drawing common style characters, so I won't focus on them. One of them is Tencent's Megastyle workflow, which is better for generating datasets, like generating multiple same style images to then run the LoRa training workflow above. You can use them together. It is not as suitable for generating characters directly. Another one is MasterTE's character design LoRa. It works okay for anime characters. And the last one is QWEN 2511, Plaza Style Transfer LoRa. Overall, I feel its effect is weaker than Telestyle. I've left workflow links for all of these on Running Hub. You can try them out if you're interested. Now looking at the Cloud Drive content. Same as always. Workflows and models should be all there, plus some style images I used for testing, and the generated LoRa's also shared with you guys. Test it online first to see if you can get the character style you want. Then download it to try locally once you're satisfied. Finally, I'm actually a game developer myself. In the future, I'll also try using these methods to create and design game characters in my actual work, and I'll continue following various AI methods for game asset creation. If this video gave you some inspiration for style transfer and character design, remember to like and subscribe. It means the world to me. See you in the next video.